Alright guys, welcome back to some more Monster Energy Supercross 3. Today we're going to check out 2020 East Rutherford. Now I know I said Denver might be our last replica video, but East Rutherford here was just such an odd track that I just had to show you. You can see a top-down view of the track here, and the overall design of the track is unique, but it's really weird in the same sense because a majority of the track is like crossing the start straight. It's just odd, and you're going to see here I have two versions of East Rutherford to show you. Both of them I made, so let's jump into it, starting with PC. Alright, starting with the PC version here, we have the first rhythm section. And based off the way it's designed, this is the only challenging part to the track. The rest of it, I already said at the beginning, pretty much just straightaways. Crossing the start straight. It's weird. I mean, I guess I praise and give credit to the track designer that they tried doing something different. You know, a lot of the tracks this year have felt similar. They have a start straight, left turn into a rhythm section, 180 into a rhythm section, and then 180 into a whoop section or cross the start straight. So it's kind of cool to see a different design. I feel like this design is kind of boring. You know, it's just a lot of nothing going on. It's just all straight. Now in this second lap, you are going to see the quad, step on, step off. And you'll see that in the next lap as well. But the difference is I actually try to quad through that entire section. So I actually try to quad over the step on, step off. And it doesn't really work. I didn't really make that section to be quadded through. It was more meant to be hit the first way we hit it. But it is cool that you do have the option to go quad if you're feeling it. But it is a really tough line to go for because you have to hit that first quad just right or you can't hit the next quad. So there is 3 different ways through that section, but really only 2 that feel practical, you know, that people would actually use during a race. I just don't see people using the 4-4. Just too much risk versus reward. And I'm speaking from a racing standpoint. You know, if you're just time attack or playing on the track, for sure, go for the 4-4-4. But in a race, probably not. And the final 2 laps you're going to see are the step on, step off in that first rhythm section. So that's the main difference on the last 2 laps. Everything else will be the same. Now, I do want to talk a bit about the track making process. It was actually really annoying trying to build this track because my original plan was to make it in the small outdoor stadium, but I could not make it fit. Where you go across the start straight the first time, I didn't have enough room between the edge of the stadium and the start straight to put that double. And then obviously not enough room for the triple single. So I just couldn't make it work. And the start straight should actually be tilted down a tiny bit. It's actually at a bit of an angle, not parallel to the stadium. So that is a bit different too. And the reason they did that is because where you have the 180, the last 180, it feels like it works better if you had the start straight at an angle. But for some reason, I was having trouble making the track doing that. So I just made it straight. It's not correct, but it's pretty similar. So that first jump on the rhythm section should actually be at a bit of an angle, not straight to the rhythm section. I just couldn't make the start work that way. I don't know. It was weird. But it must have been kind of an annoying track to build because at the time of making this video, there were no replicas on PlayStation or PC. So it must have been kind of annoying, where the track design was so sucky that nobody wanted to build it. I don't know. But I wanted to make it to show you guys how odd this track was, and because if nobody makes it on PlayStation, I still have to make it for the tournament. And here we switch over to the PlayStation. Now I'm not going to walk you through every lap because the track is very, very similar to the PC version. I built the PC version first, then built the PlayStation version. So the PlayStation version is a tiny bit different. If I could take the first half of the PlayStation version and the second half of the PC version, I would be happy. I feel like that would be the best version of this track if I could do that, but I can't. I was trying to make it the same as PC, but make it a tiny bit easier, maybe more consistent, because this is a track that we're probably going to use for the tournament on Saturday. So I kind of want the track to be not super hard, where only the fastest guys can do it consistently. I wanted it to be a fairly easy track because that makes for better competition and it's more fun to watch. But the first rhythm section came out tougher than the PC version, so that's really unfortunate. I mean, I'm satisfied with it. I feel like we built it pretty good. There's two ways through it, but it doesn't have that same big line that we had on PC. But you got to keep in mind that the PC version and the PlayStation version, they play different. They feel different. They just do. So it's hard to build the same track from one platform to another. I mean, it would be easier to go from Xbox to PlayStation instead of what we did here, but these are the two platforms that I wanted to build the track on. And obviously I already mentioned it, but I was worried we wouldn't have a track for Saturday if I didn't make one. I actually ended up making a Denver replica last weekend for the championship, and I was really happy with the track. I feel like it came out really good, and there was some awesome racing. I feel like we saw some of the best battles, especially for the lead, between McChicken and Sloppy. So I was pretty happy with the track and decided to give it another go with East Rutherford here. Plus I was excited to show you guys this track because in my opinion, I feel like this is the worst track design of the year. Maybe recent memory. It's pretty ugly. I mean, awesome they tried to do something different, but not this. This just doesn't work for me. From a spectator standpoint, it would be not as fun to watch. I mean, I'm all for not having tons of jumps. Speaking from a general spectator standpoint, people like to see jumps, big rhythms, you know? And maybe from a rider standpoint, it might be fun to have a weird track such as this. But if you're some just very casual viewer of Supercross, it's probably not as fun to watch. But let me know in the comments how you guys feel about this track. Do you like it? Do you hate it? Or are you neutral? Nice to see something different, but hopefully they can do something better in the future. I'm just excited to see how the race goes this weekend on this track. See what lines you guys choose, and just to see how close the racing is. But you guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. It really does mean a lot. And until the next video, take it easy.